Hey y'all, good morning, brothers, sisters, and seekers of every nation, tribe, and tongue. So I told you guys I was going to tell you what happened when I once again convinced myself to just go ahead and get some Starbucks. How did that happen again? Because it had once before. So here's my whole Starbucks journey. So back in, I want to say, back in not the early two. See, I live in a state where Starbucks is very prevalent. Starbucks is very prevalent. It's on every corner. Coffee is prevalent. We're coffee people. Where I live, we're coffee people. But what years was that? I don't know. I don't know. Mid 2000s, whatever. I don't know. But I was drinking a lot of Starbucks, and it was crazy because, as God is my sacred witness, I would get it free, like all the time. I go through the drive-thru, they're like, "Oh, the person in front of you just paid for you," and it happened consistently. I used to think back then, I was like, "Oh, this is a blessing," And now I'm kind of thinking, well, maybe God just didn't want me to put my money into Starbucks. That's what I'm thinking now after I got this kind of education on it. So the education I got was, like I said, have stated before, I've shared with you guys that there was this Ghanaian minister that we used to go to his, actually my loved one was a part of his ministry, as far as was a very consistent goer, whatever you would say. She would go for 14 years. She was going to that man's ministry. Now there's a whole story about that. You'd have to look up the video title, "What's the Obsession with Calling Daughters of God Jezzies and Witches?" But anyway, at the same time, though, there were definitely some horrible lessons that had to be learned in that ministry. There were some things that he taught too that were legitimate, right? So one of the things he spoke on was Starbucks, and he had told us to stop drinking Starbucks because, people come in there with their Starbucks cups and what have you. And he was like, "Stop drinking Starbucks." And he said, "You guys," he said, "what do you think that mermaid means?" Right? And so he kind of went into the whole, spill on the occult connection with Starbucks. So we stopped drinking it. Now, mind you, this was around 2008, okay? So at that time, yes, I stopped drinking it, right? Now, then I started back up after the issues that happened with his ministry and all of that kind of stuff, and we stopped going and the things he did. And so now it's like no faith in him, you know what I mean? That kind of thing. So then you kind of bring into question anything he taught, right? And so I was like, man, whatever, I'm getting my Starbucks. Because there's something about Starbucks where there's something very professional about the way they operate. And for me, I don't know the ingredients to some of the things I'd get. They taste almost clean. It's hard to explain it, but I guess that would be part of the deception, right? So, and then that also goes into when we begin our businesses, and it's Christian based. We need to be top notch. We need to be in the spirit of excellence, because I do plan to get a coffee franchise. Okay. Whole nother topic for a whole nother day. And it is going to be very Christian based I have a whole business plan. Going on in my head. Anybody come across this and you're, you on the same page, an investor, anything like that, maybe we can connect. But anyway, back to Starbucks. So I started back drinking it because, like I said, I'm sitting here wearing these reading glasses, trying to figure out why everything looking weird from a distance. Well, because I didn't take them off. Okay, so I started back to drinking it after him because, like I said, everything came into question about him in general. So it was kind of almost like throwing the baby out with the bathwater, which it wasn't necessary to do. So then I started drinking it again, and what made me stop this next time was just more information coming out, and it was becoming broader. Like what he had taught us way back in 2008 was now kind of, because now we're in the social media era, and we're all on Facebook, and so we're all connected through social media now. Because in 2008 we weren't really, not at all. I don't think. Well, no, there was some things online, but not a lot. So anyway, fast forward years later, the word is out there. Like, this is what Starbucks is, And then I think too, they're supportive of, if I'm not mistaken, they might be supportive of abortions, which I'm staunchly anti-abortion, staunchly. So, obviously God won't want me putting my money into, you know, an organization that basically upholds evil. So, or enables evil, or empowers evil, I should say. So anyway, but I could be wrong about that. I'm not sure. I just feel like I heard that somewhere. So anyway, fast forward after 2008, we're no longer going to this man's ministry. Things have unfolded. We don't trust him. We don't trust his teachings. We don't care anymore. I'm going to get my Starbucks, right? So I would get my peppermint mocha, and what would I get? I would get a peppermint mocha, iced mocha, and I would get, there's these little egg bites, and I would get that, man, and just going about my day, right? But then more information is coming out. I'm like, okay, forget it. I'm just not going to drink it no more. And I stopped drinking it and also, this is during the time too where I would get it for free a lot. I mean, I would get this stuff for free a lot. And so I was just like, man, this must be, God is blessing me. I always be getting me some free Starbucks. Because, you know, Starbucks is also expensive. And so that's another thing. When you look at the price of Starbucks, you are spending probably way too much money on it. So then, as more information is coming out, I said, okay, Lord, I'm not going to drink it no more. I'm not going to drink it no more. And I stopped drinking it, right? I stopped drinking it because certain people on the on social media, certain ministries was talking about it. I'm not even going to say the name of the individual who kind of got it reignited and kicked it back in. But put it this way, once I lost faith in him, again, I was like, man, forget what you're talking about. And I'm going to go grab me some Starbucks, right? But there was a part of me that was like, it's about what it really stands for. Because what does that mermaid stand for? Now, I'm not all into that mythological stuff. So, you know, I only know about the mermaid by their people who have taught on it. Because other than that, I knew nothing about a mermaid. Personally, I just knew nothing about a mermaid. And so I guess, you know, when you connect it with the water and all of that kind of stuff, you know, it gets deep, I guess. Whatever. Whatever. So, we're surrounded by the occult, though. We're surrounded by it. Like, we live in a world. This is not God's world. It's God's earth, but it's not his world. It's not his system. He's not established or throned in the world. We know that. The God of this world is Lucifer. That is who is the God of this world. So do we see him in every element of society? Yes, we do. Can you avoid him in most elements of society? No, you just can't. He's on the dollar. He's apparently in the coffee. He's on Oreo cookies, which I don't eat those. You know, there's just elements of his markings all over this world because the world is his. That's why there's going to be a system that's going to follow him completely and utterly, and it's going to be global. Okay? We'll get into that later. But y'all know what I'm talking about. The Antichrist system, which is already prevalent in the world today. It's already prevalent. So anyway, I went and I had grabbed, one day I was just like, I think everything, where I was at, there was nothing else open. Or no. Where I was at in this particular day, nothing around close. That's what it was. And I really was hungry. I remember I was really, really hungry because I was like on some kind of calorie deficit type thing. So my stomach was like growling, but then at the same time, I didn't want anything that was too heavy. And I said, oh, I know those egg bites, those egg white bites, Starbucks, right? And the Starbucks was real close by. Then I wanted some coffee. And I think I really wanted a pink drink. I love those pink drinks. And I'm going to learn how to make it myself, which I think is going to be easy anyway. I think it's like coconut water, dried strawberries. And it's probably, I don't know. I'll look it up to see what else is in it and just make it myself. But anyway, I really like those. So I was like, okay, let me go get this pink drink and go get these egg bites. And I think I ended up getting a coffee instead, though. I don't remember if I did or not. And so I got it, ate the food, was nauseous, right? Was nauseous. I want to say, was I nauseous that same day or was it the next day? Oh, you know what? I also had a dream. I was nauseous, but I also had a dream. And in the dream, I was getting spiritually attacked. That's what happened in the dream. I shared it too. It's on this YouTube page. It's on this YouTube page. So yeah, so I had got nauseous, and then I had like a spiritual attack in my dream. So I connected it to Starbucks. I was like, okay, it had to be Starbucks. I was like, all right, bet. I'm not going to drink it no more. Then what do? The other day, they had this drink, these like energy drinks with all the fruit in it and stuff. And I love stuff like that. And something else they were selling, because like I said, they kind of come up with things that for whatever reason are appetizing to me. And I was like, I said, dang. I was like, let me just go ahead and get this. It's just a fruit drink. Try to convince her it's just a fruit drink. That's all it is. I get the fruit drink. I want to say I did it maybe 2 days in a row. Right? Have a drink. And this is what I said, okay, forget it. I just got to learn how to make certain things that I like. First of all, I'll save money. And secondly, I won't be coming into any kind of agreement with something God is telling me not to come into agreement with, obviously. Right? And I won't be being disobedient, obviously. So anyway, I went and I got this, whatever this little drink was, and drank it the next day, tow it up, had a dream. In this dream, I tell you what, I saw 3 snakes, 3 different color snakes. One was a white snake and looked pale and sickly. And another one, no, the first one was black. It almost looked like a cobra. The next one was like a pale, sickly white one. And then the next one was like a vibrant green one. And so woke up, was like, okay. Even if it's not connected to Starbucks, it's the fact that I just had it and then I had this dream again, it's enough for me. It's enough for me. So I was like, okay, clearly no more Starbucks. So something's up with the place. Something truly is up with the place. No offense to people who work there. A sister in the faith who worked there for many years. I think it even got her through college, and stuff like that. But it's like, man, I mean, sometimes, and that's why I say, can we avoid every single thing in our society that has got Lucifer's footprint on it? No, because the world, this is the world. What does the word tell us? That we're of the world. We're in the world, but we're not of the world, right? So we don't even belong to this world. That's why we're so different, right? That's why, but then what did Paul also say? He said, but you can't lift up out the world. You'd have to leave. And you can't leave. So you do what you can while you're here. But when there's certain things that are just blatant, then yeah, we have to avoid them. But then there are other things that it's there, right? Like I said, the dollar, so what are you going to do? Just not have no money? It's on clothing. And sometimes you may not even know that. You don't even, I didn't know for the longest that so many of these clothes are like mythological gods and stuff, Greek gods and stuff. I didn't know that. A lot, especially athletic wear, So you go through a drive-through, they got voodoo fries. You know what I'm saying? I don't buy that stuff though. Like, that's just too blatant. You know what I mean? Some voodoo fries, I'm good. I'm not putting nothing in my body with the name voodoo attached to it. That's ignorant. What else? Man, there's so many things. Like I said, the Oreo cookie. I don't like Oreos, but how crazy is that? That the Oreo cookie has a little occultic emblem or whatever that emblem is. Which, by the way, we need to get into real meanings of words. Occult simply means hidden. It means hidden. So either call it exactly what you're trying to call it. If you're trying to say Luciferian because it has a little more punch to it, then say that. But occult means for something to be hidden. There's even a blood draw called occult blood. Okay? So that's what that word means. But some things, it's right in your face. It's not hidden. It's right there. So, yes. Yeah, it's a lot. But anyway, yeah, so that's my story about Starbucks. When I told y'all in the other video, I said I gotta tell y'all a story. Yeah, gotta stay obedient. And I know, that's the area for me. Some things, I have to not try to justify it. And I understand that. I think I was trying to justify it because I like it, right? Because I want something cool and refreshing or whatever. But I just have to make it myself. Talk to y'all later.